Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to a live Manchester United news, transfer news, and update show. Manchester United actually were offered a chance to sign Adam Wharton. That's been revealed by the very reliable Andy Mitten. We're going to dive into that story. We're going to talk about news on Yusuf Fofana to AC Milan. Here we go. McTominay has chosen Napoli. Napoli reps have flown into England to try and seal the McTominay deal. More updates as well about a boost on Ugarte. Romano retweeting some information on Ugarte is always a hint. Fofana going because United are confident of getting Manuel Ugarte. Scott McTominay close to Napoli, choosing the move. There's a lot of updates on that. Lindelof exit, a few more updates on Lindelof and Pulisic's exit, which is going to bring in funds. But also, Ten Hag did his first press conference of the season, talking about the Fulham game. Mazraoui and De Ligt, now they're in, and we're going to talk about Ten Hag's press conference. He spoke about transfers, injuries, Mazraoui, De Ligt. We're going to talk about Matthijs De Ligt's first interview as a United player, the leadership and mentality that Matthijs De Ligt showed in that interview. I thought was a really impressive interview and more. So guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, and I'm going to get up all the news on my screen. And then I feel like at the end of the live show, we'll talk about how Man United will round off versus Fulham. And I forgot to write a context page about what we're going to cover in today's show, but I do want to start with the Scott McTominay news as well. So it was said, Scott McTominay is Antonio Conte's priority target at Napoli. In the next few hours, a news summit will take place with the player's agent, who has put other proposals on standby. So this was said earlier today by Padella. Now, Padella is a journalist, which I'm not 100% convinced on. But he was very accurate with what he said on Amrabat and Højlund last summer. Whether he got lucky or not, I'm not sure, but he seemed very confident with saying a lot about Amrabat and Højlund that those deals would be done. So he definitely has, some credibility to his name, and he definitely, in recent times when it comes to United and Italian players, has been quite accurate with his information. He said that Scott McTominay is Conte's priority. In the next few hours, a summit will take place, so there could be some advancements on Scott McTominay tonight, or by the time we hear about it, maybe tomorrow. So I think in the next 24 hours, there could be some real interesting advancements on McTominay. He then followed up and said, Scott McTominay has given priority to Napoli, and Antonio Conte has asked the club to sign him. Napoli want to add a thick midfielder like McTominay to their squad. They need a proposal that convinces United. So, McTominay is given priority to Napoli. He's picked Napoli over Fulham, is sort of what's being said, that he's chosen Napoli as his sort of club, and that Napoli are now going all in on McTominay. Now, Napoli have obviously flown over their representatives to England to try and seal the Man United deal. Napoli are trying to see if they can do a loan deal, because until Osimhen is sold, they're a little bit restricted for cash. But United are like, he's got 1 year left on his contract. We need the money for FFP. We want the money for McTominay. United obviously really want to sell McTominay, so it obviously has to be a permanent deal. Maybe this could prompt Fulham to make a shot bid for McTominay in the coming days. That will have to be seen. Maybe Fulham can give some competition, but we obviously know the price tag for McTominay is about 25 to 30 million pounds as well. And Romano has been retweeting stuff about, did I say thick? When did I say thick? Did I say thick? So everyone keeps putting thick and question mark in the chat. Everyone keeps putting thick and question mark in the chat. What does that mean? Did I say that? Did I mispronounce something? Apparently, everyone keeps. I'm so confused. I've got like 10 comments saying thick and question marks. So I don't know if I've mispronounced something and it's come. I don't know, like where that's come from. I don't know what that means. But sorry. Getting back into the McTominay news, if I have said the word thick somehow, I don't know. Going back into the McTominay news, Fulham, Napoli, a couple other clubs interested in McTominay. Fabrizio Romano is obviously retweeting information on Ugarte. There's, Napoli reps have flown to England to try and push the McTominay deal over the line, apparently. McTominay open to joining Napoli, chosen Napoli's priority, but it's about will Napoli pay the money, because, we thought Fulham were going to get him. Fulham have mucked about and not paid the money. If we get the money in from McTominay, that gives us a big boost in our attempts to sign Manuel Ugarte. Ugarte's pushing for the move. George Mendes is wrapping up some deals in London with, I think, João Felix, and then he's going to go over to Manchester and try and wrap up the Ugarte deal. George Mendes, very busy guy. Romano's tweeting stuff. McTominay out, Ugarte in. They seem to be two deals that are very much advancing, and I think with the meetings going on today and tomorrow and the proposals being made, I think we could expect some updates on that as well. We also know the sale of Victor Osimhen would very much help that as well. Someone said, Somewhat. Wait, where have I? Oh, a thick midfielder. I get what you mean. Yeah, Napoli wants to add a thick midfielder. They don't mean that as in like stupid or dumb. They mean that as in like physical. Like he's not thin, he's thick. He's uh like it's a mental thing. It's not like he's stupid. When they call him McTominay a thick midfielder, they mean like a guy that's physical, he's ready to get stuck in, he's not thin, he's not a lightweight. I think that's what they mean when they say they want the thick midfielder, someone that, can play, he's got the hunger, got the determination, is a warrior, got that mentality of McTominay, ability-wise, we've had question marks around him at United, but mentality-wise, his ability to give all. I think that's what he means by thick midfielder, someone that's going to give you everything, someone that's going to be a hard-working guy in regards to McTominay as well. So, yeah, but I know what you mean. I was like, that went over my head there as well. Would think Scott would rather stay in PL than go abroad, maybe, but I think Napoli's a much bigger and better club to play for than obviously what do you call it? Fulham. Yeah, thick as in strong midfielder from McTominay is what I mean. So that was me just having a bit of a brain fart there. But I was like, why is everyone saying thick? If I say thick, I was thinking like, if I called a Man United player thick and said something like bad without realising it, but no, thick as in strong, like thick skin. Thick skin, when they say he's got thick skin, strong, that's what they mean. He's not saying that McTominay is stupid, he's saying he's got thick skin. That's what they're trying to say. So a sale of Victor Osimhen could help generate funds from McTominay because obviously Napoli have actually made an offer for McTominay, and Napoli's offer that they made for McTominay was a loan deal. Manchester United are kind of saying, look, no to these loan deals here. They want a permanent deal for McTominay. So Napoli made a loan offer for McTominay. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that we've rejected the loan offer. The Athletic, Laurie Whitwell, I believe as well, again sort of confirmed the loan offer for McTominay. United don't want it. United don't want to do a loan. All of that stuff as well. So we know that. It was also said that McTominay is aware of Napoli's interest and the offer's under consideration. There's expectation that Napoli will go in for a second bid. They're trying to seal the deal, but they're trying to see if they can get him on loan with an obligation to buy. It was said by Core Sport that Napoli's sporting director is in England and will be holding talks with United over a move for McTominay. That was said yesterday. Apparently today in the meeting right now, McTominay's communicated that he's open to joining Napoli. So there could be some really interesting advancements on McTominay to Napoli in the next 24 hours. Either one, it's a game to maybe hurry up Fulham, or two, there could be some really interesting advancements on McTominay to Napoli if the information that we're being given on that move is correct as well. We're going to talk about Wharton. We're going to talk about other news in a second. For Scott Seister's frame, he isn't as physical as he should be. No, he's not really a physical player. I think more thick skin, like mental, like get stuck in kind of guy as well. So we're going to talk about a few other stories. We've got some updates coming in on Adam Wharton. We've got some updates coming in on a few other players in regards to United move. But first of all, my heart breaks, but we all saw it happening. Yusuf Fofana to AC Milan, here we go. Green light just arrived from AS Monaco, also on payment terms. 25 million package, add-ons included, 4-year contract plus option for further season. No doubt since July, he only wanted AC Milan, travel call, medical in next 24 hours. So Fabrizio Romano has confirmed the green light is there in regards to Yusuf Fofana to AC Milan. The green light is there. Here we go, sort of situation there. Now, Man United, according to a couple of sources a few days ago, were going to try and hijack the deal. Apparently, we're going to present an offer to Monaco, but it was never said by Romano. It was never said by Ornstein. It was never said by Tier 1 source. It's always been said by the Tier 1 sources. We like Yusuf Fofana, but he's seen as a separate midfield deal on top of Ugarte if the sale happens. If we don't sell anyone, it's just Ugarte or Sander Berge coming in the midfield. If we do sell someone, it's Ugarte or Sander Berge plus another midfield signing coming in, and that's when Fofana was under consideration because he's seen as more of an 8, so someone that can, instead of Amrabat coming in, he can come in and sort of compete with Kobe. So obviously people will say that he's rejected United, and maybe he did reject United, maybe we did make a move for him. You never know, but I think we were really focused on Ugarte, and that's probably the main reason we didn't move for Fofana. I actually prefer Fofana to Ugarte. I think he's more well-rounded. I think he's so good on the ball, off the ball. I think in terms of a pivot partner for Maynard with his physicality, I think Fofana would have been really well suited to Premier League, and Fofana was the midfielder I wanted. There's been a lot of rumours and speculation. Obviously, United have had an interest in their long-standing, but I don't ever know how serious that interest was. I do think a lot of the news saying that we were going to hijack the deal and that our interest was serious was more of a game and a negotiation tactic from Monaco to basically hurry up, I think, AC Milan into paying the money because they wanted him sold. They wanted it over the line. So it's annoying that he's gone to AC Milan, but that's the here we go. I don't know if he did the Cirksy here we go, though, to AC Milan. So I don't think he did. But I don't think we hijacked this deal. I think the reason we've not hijacked this deal is because we're fully focused on Ugarte, if I'm going to be totally honest. But 25 million euro package, including add-ons. So that's like 20 million pounds, including add-ons. Apparently, someone said somewhere online, I don't know how good it was, but 17 million up front for Yusuf Fofana. And I just think if Yusuf Fofana is really 17 million up front, going to about a 22 million pound deal, I do sit there and think, honestly, why did we not try? Why did we not try and really push for that move? If he really was 17, 18 million pounds up front, I know that we're focused on Ugarte, and maybe if we sign him, we don't have the funds to get Ugarte unless McTominay is sold, and we don't know if McTominay is going to be sold. And maybe had we sold McTominay 2 weeks ago, we maybe would have hijacked Fofana because then we'd also have the funds for Ugarte. But I think value for money, it was an absolute steal. And, I get that United are looking elsewhere, and look, Ineos have got very clever people doing recruitment and making decisions at United, so it's, not the end of the world, but I was a big fan of obviously Yusuf Fofana as well. FIFA as well, we should have got before his Brighton move. Yeah, AC Milan and Brighton have been making some really good business this transfer window, so I fully expect them to have good seasons. But Alex is right, FIFA we could have got him for 25 million. Yusuf Fofana, we could have got him for about 20 million. I just think with the midfield market being very saturated and overpriced, 50 million for Ugarte when he didn't have the best season and flopped in the Champions League. I think Ugarte is a good signing and I want us to get Ugarte, but obviously Ugarte should really be costing us, 40 million max. I just thought that they were really good opportunities and deals as well. Someone said, here we go in the thumbnail, because in the title it says Fofana to AC Milan, here we go, Man United blow, because obviously that deal is done. Here we go on the screen, because obviously Fofana to AC Milan. So anyway, what has been said on Adam Wharton? So Man United actually were offered the chance to sign Adam Wharton, which is quite surprising, but also not surprising. So Andy Mitten is one of the best sources of information when it comes to Manchester United news, and he said that Man United were offered Adam Wharton before he moved to Crystal Palace and that United declined. Now, Wharton cost Crystal Palace £18 million. So surprisingly, we were offered the chance to get Wharton in January. Considering Casemiro's form in January, considering going into next season we needed a DM, and that Adam Wharton is someone that I've been hearing about, in September, October, November last year as a very good talent in the Championship. I'm surprised United didn't act on that, because I think that's a very United deal. Someone like Adam Wharton coming in, maybe you're loaning him back to the Championship to Blackburn for the rest of the season. And apparently we were offered the chance to get him, £18 million, and those at United thought, nah. Now, obviously, Ineos weren't in by then. We knew we were getting Ineos in January, but obviously Ineos didn't get in the door till February. So this wasn't on Ineos, this was at the Glazers. And I think the Glazers probably thought, well, we're not going to do anything. There's no point doing anything this window because Ineos are going to do something next summer. So maybe we shouldn't bring anyone in. But I think the fact that we were surprisingly offered the chance to bring in Adam Wharton for £18 million. Apparently as well, scouts at United was another report that suggested that we go for Adam Wharton, and that we declined that is a prime example of how United have been run in recent years. And obviously, I'm sure other big clubs declined that, who knew that Adam Wharton was going to be really good. But I think when Man United probably needed to DM more than any other club in the Premier League and a young understudy to Casemiro, I'm surprised we didn't go for Adam Wharton. But I think it was probably due to the takeover being in that transition period where Ineos weren't in, so they couldn't do anything. And the Glazers knew that they were going to lose control. So they're like, why should we do anything with Ineos coming in? But I'm really surprised that we were actually offered the chance to sign Wharton there. We had a surprise opportunity to get Wharton, but yeah, that's a very frustrating one as well. So I mean, the midfield's been crazy because I'd have loved Wharton, but we've rejected an offer. We declined to make an offer for Wharton, and obviously Fofana, here we go. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed, here we go, in regards to Fofana to AC Milan. So yeah, it's been interesting in terms of the news. McTominay is Napoli's priority. McTominay, Napoli, advancements going on there. McTominay open to Napoli move, apparently. Napoli reps have obviously flown out to get the McTominay deal done. Here we go, confirmed Romano for Yusuf Fofana, so that is a bit of a blow for Manchester United there. Whether he actually chose AC Milan over us or the fact that we were focusing on Ugarte is probably the reason we didn't get Yusuf Fofana, but for that to be here we go, I was always kind of hoping maybe once McTominay sold we could hijack this Fofana deal last minute, but we couldn't. And then Andy Mitten reveals that United were surprisingly offered the chance to sign Wharton, but they declined it, which doesn't surprise me. But what we do know about the midfield is that United are very, very focused on Ugarte, and if we do bring someone in midfield, it could likely be Ugarte as well. So, what has been said on Ugarte? Yeah, 30 is joining Brighton apparently as well. As reported in my video earlier today, so I did a live stream earlier today that we made a shot bid for 30, and apparently we're trying to hijack the Brighton deal. But as I said in my live show, I said take it with a pinch of salt because I don't think it's true. I think that we're just being used to speed Brighton up. But let's dive into this next news story. Let's dive into this next bit of updates and stuff as well coming in, because we've got some updates on, of course, Ugarte. So I think right now with Yusuf Fofana, here we go to AC Milan. I think United are putting all their eggs in the Ugarte basket, and if they don't get Ugarte, I think all their eggs are probably going in the Sander Berge basket. But in regards to Ugarte to United, it was said that PSG are willing to lower their asking price for Manuel Ugarte as the weeks go by, said Pete Hall. It said there's a growing belief an agreement could be reached for Manuel Ugarte to join Man United, said Rich Fay, and that Eric Ten Hag is personally keen on Ugarte, who has been similarly raised as a hugely promising option by the club's new recruitment hierarchy, and that Jadon Sancho could join PSG on loan with an obligation to buy us in negotiations between both clubs. The two clubs are attempting to unlock a deal that could see Manuel Ugarte move in the opposite direction. So right now, Man United's focus is on midfield, McTominay being sold, Ugarte coming in. There could be some breakthroughs on that very soon, but considering we've been told by multiple sources, it looks like PSG are going to lower the fee. It looks like an agreement could be closed. We had a big meeting on Monday. We've had another big meeting today to discuss deals, to discuss the midfield. The focus is on the midfield. I do think Ugarte and McTominay, in regards to all the Manchester United news, is definitely one to watch as well. News all over the place with PSG lowering the price or not. Same with the interest in Sancho. I think it is a big game, to be honest. I think this whole, are they lowering the price? Are they not lowering the price? I think PSG wants Sancho. We want Ugarte. Both clubs are asking for basically a ridiculous price. And I think it's like a little bit of a game. What's that? What? Oh no, I got sent something, but it was a load of rubbish. I just got sent something about Frankie de Jong, but it's come from Sport, that apparently Man United are preparing a bid for Frankie de Jong, but I think that's a load of rubbish. But I quickly want to get something up on Ugarte here. I don't believe the Frankie de Jong story that's just come out. It's probably a load of rubbish, but Fabrizio Romano just retweeted this. So this is what Fabrizio Romano has just retweeted. Manuel Ugarte insisting a lot for Man United move as PSG and Man United are still talking. George Mendes leading negotiations with PSG and is open to selling, and PSG are open to selling Ugarte to United, and United are still keen. United needs salary to be reduced or one more sale. Some sources are saying PSG aren't going to lower the salary. Other sources are saying PSG are going to lower the salary. I think PSG are going to have to lower the salary because we know that they want to sell him and we're getting close to the end of the window. Romano is now retweeting about 45 minutes ago About 45 minutes ago, Fabrizio Romano is retweeting that obviously we're insisting for Ugarte and Ugarte is insisting for the Man United move. We're interested. George Mendes is trying to make it happen, which I think is a strong suggestion. There could be some really interesting and big developments coming in on Ugarte. Guys, we're 56 likes away from 300 likes, so please do go ahead and hit that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Up if you're new, because we're only 7 subscribers away from 89.3k. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, it'd be absolutely amazing if you could subscribe, because we're on the road to 90k by the end of the transfer window. And we're only 7 subscribers away from that goal by the end of this live stream of getting, of course, 89.3k. So I reckon we can do that by the end of the show if you guys subscribe. Wharton is apparently a Manchester United fan and is from the area. And do you know what's mad? It's like Wharton and Cole Palmer are massive Man United fans, apparently, and I would love Wharton and Cole Palmer at United as well. Berge 26, Amrabat 27. I prefer Berge to Amrabat, if I'm going to be honest. I think just he could be more suited to the way that Ten Hag wants to play moving forward. People say Wharton could end up at City. Well, if City get relegated this season, because the decision will come in January whether they're going to relegate Manchester City or not. A decision will be made in January whether to relegate Man City or not. I don't know. I think Man City are going to struggle this window because everybody knows that the court trial is going ahead and the decision will be made in January whether to relegate them or not, which means that this season, if they get relegated, is written off, and also next season, if they'll be in the Championship, will be wrote off as well. So I don't know about Manchester City and their stance in the window, because I think there'll be a lot of people out there that will be a little bit cautious in regards to Manchester City and the fact that there's a strong possibility they could be relegated as well. And about half the price, and if deployed the right way, not sure much difference in quality with Berge. I just think Berge might be a bit more suited to what Ten Hag wants to do, and he's 20 million, Amrabat's 12 million. I think that Burge could potentially be a better option. Guys, we're only 4 subscribers away from 89.3k, so please do subscribe if you're new. But yes, Fabrizio Romano is obviously retweeting news on Manuel Ugarte, which is always interesting to see. But I want to take you back to the Manuel Ugarte Sancho situation and probably a little bit of a game that is going on with United. You know, Sancho's a £40 million player. We're asking for 51 million. Ugarte's a £40 million player. PSG asking for 51 million. There's no doubt in my mind that that correlation is a little bit of United saying, you know what, if you're going to play hardball with Ugarte, we're going to play hardball with Sancho. I think that's what's going on. We also know from Fabrizio Romano, and this was also confirmed by the United Truthful, we also know here from Fabrizio Romano that Manuel Ugarte is pushing to go to United. He's in love with the idea of being a Manchester United player, and it really looks like Ugarte is dreaming of that United move. I just realised I missed a super chat, so I do apologise. I got a super chat 12 minutes ago that has completely scrolled through, so I do apologise. And he said, I take magic beans for Sancho as well. Burge is far better on the ball. Amrabat gets caught in possession, and that's why I think Burge would be more suited to 10 on ball than Amrabat. Maybe if McTominay goes, United would look at both Burge and Ugarte, because Burge compares a 6 and an 8, and then Burge can sort of, you know, his physical profile being tall. Burge, I think in terms of physical profile, could be that improvement on McTominay, because Burge is like better on the ball than McTominay, but has elements of McTominay's physical strength and abilities to play as a 6 or an 8. So maybe United, if McTominay goes, would look to get Burge and Ugarte, or they're maybe going for one or the other. I know with Collier coming through as well that United have confidence that he could make it, which may also, potentially influence our midfield deals. Sam C of the United Stand said that we're not going to sign a midfielder that we believe is the same profile of the midfielder that Collier can be moulded into as well. Mendes needs to work his magic with the Ugarte deal, and to be fair, if there's an agent that I think could work magic and get the Ugarte deal over the line, it would probably be George Mendes. George Mendes has a very good relationship with Manchester United. Obviously, a lot of our players have been George Mendes clients, and you know we got that Neto deal, bish bash bosh, done out of nowhere. George Mendes, I think one thing he's known for is very much just being able to get those deals done. He's not like Mino Raiola, who didn't like United, that was asking for crazy money. I think George Mendes is very much, I think as an agent, he seems to put his players first. He's like, Manuel Ugarte wants this move, I'm going to work my magic. But he is working on about 100 deals at once, George Mendes, to be fair to him. So you got to give it to him. But I do think once he's wrapped up this João Felix situation, apparently he's going to fly to Manchester and try and get the Ugarte deal over the line. So hopefully he goes ahead and does that. People saying, what about Hermoso? Hermoso to United seems to be off. Romano saying we're looking at him. We're keeping an eye on the Hermoso situation. We might bring Hermoso in as, of course, as a left centre-back option. But I think we're going to leave the left centre-back option on loan till the end of the window. Guys, can we get 400 likes? That would be absolutely amazing. And also, guys, we're on 89,299 subscribers. I'm only 1 subscriber away from 89.3k, so please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. I go live every single morning and evening, keeping you guys up to date on all the news. Weirdly, we've hardly brought any of Mendes' clients during the Jose tenure, which is interesting as well, because obviously with Tenag being in here, we seem to buy everyone from the SCG agency as well. There seemed to be some kind of connection there, but yeah, we didn't, to be weird. The deal will be done by the end of the weekend. He won't want his player rotting on the bench, so could even tell him he will make it more difficult to sign his other players in futures. I feel like there could be a big breakthrough in Scott McTominay and Ugarte in the coming days. I think Fabrizio Romano retweeting the Ugarte news is always an indication that something could be happening. Guys, we've got 1,500 people watching, so please do hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream as well. Man United have spoke to a number of George Mendes clients as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with Ugarte. But Ugarte's in love with the idea of Manchester United. Ugarte wants the move. George Mendes wants to make Ugarte's dream happen, is what's being said. And Ugarte himself is forcing for the Manchester United move, is pushing for the United news. I mean, what we could do is, I could show you this here, MUFC MPB. One sec. I'm going to get this up, because this account will always gives you everything you need to know. Normally, there's a mixture of sources here, but we can literally just scroll through the mass amount of news that we know on Ugarte here. So let me get my screen back up here. This is all the news that we know on Ugarte to Manchester United. I'm going to get this up on the screen. So we know that United would like to obviously add another midfielder, and we know that Ugarte and Burge are sort of the midfielders that have been looked at in regards to the midfielder that Manchester United will want to add. We obviously know that. We scroll through other news. Man United are optimistic a deal for Ugarte can be stopped before the end of the transfer window. There's a growing belief an agreement could be reached for Manuel Ugarte to join United, and Jadon Sancho could be used as part of the deal. Manuel Ugarte is in love with the idea of being a Man United player, says Fabrizio Romano. I mean, Manuel Ugarte agreed terms to join Man United over a month ago. I think it's been maybe 6 weeks since Manuel Ugarte agreed terms to join Man United. It's been and it's also been said as well that Man United will try and sign a midfielder, but it will not be a player that fits what they expect Collier to become. As speaking about earlier, Ugarte and Fofana signed as 2 independent deals. It was said that Man United chiefs met on Monday to discuss the strategy for the remainder of the window, and the midfield priority remains Ugarte, and United are keen to bring down PSG's price. We also know on Ugarte in the last few hours, progress had been made on the Manuel Ugarte to United deal. According to sources close to the player, the transfer could be closed in the next few hours, they said. Obviously, that didn't happen. And agent George Mendes is travelling to Manchester to finalise the deal. So there was obviously the report that came out on Monday that they were going to try and finalise the deal in the next few hours with George Mendes travelling out. Obviously didn't happen as well. It was said that Man United and PSG are now closer to an agreement for Ugarte following negotiations over the weekend. PSG are lowering their demands for Ugarte, and Ugarte is pushing for the move. George Mendes is trying to work to formalise a deal, and these were news stories that we've got in the last few days, and that George Mendes, according to Romano, is in England to discuss Manuel Ugarte of United. PSG still see Ugarte leaving, but United need the price to be lowered. I mean, just the amount of news on Ugarte as well. Ugarte was left out the PSG squad as well because they want to move him before the transfer deadline. United are being patient over Ugarte with little over 2 weeks in the window to go, in the knowledge that PSG may need to sell. I think because United know that PSG want to sell the player, they're more than happy to let it delay into the window. But you can just see through what I've covered, the mass amounts of news and stories that's obviously come out on Manuel Ugarte is quite big. There's a lot of information there as well. Mendes obviously needs to work his magic with that, but I think we'll probably get a lot of advancements coming in as well. Can we hit 400 likes, guys? We've got 1,500 people watching. It'd be absolutely amazing if we can hit 400 likes, but I do want to get back into some more stories and news. Some people are saying they don't believe McTominay will leave United. I'm 50-50 on what happens with McTominay. There's interest in McTominay, but there's been interest in McTominay the last couple of windows and he's not left, so I'm very 50-50 as well. I think what happens is McTominay gets sold after the Fulham game. Either Fulham or Napoli get him, and then Ugarte comes in. I think Ugarte is going to come to United, but I think Ugarte is going to come very close to deadline day, because I think PSG, once you get 1 or 2 days away from deadline day, I think PSG will be like, crap, we need to sell him. No one else is going to buy him other than United. He only wants United, so we're going to have to lower the fee because we've got to make sure it goes to United. Otherwise, he's going to sit on the bench and he's going to lose value because he doesn't suit the way that Luis Enrique wants to play. And then we're going to not be able to sell him next season. And we've got a player there that's unhappy, that wants to leave. I think that Ugarte will be dragging out to the end of the summer window. But I think the longer Ugarte goes on, the more and more pressure there is on PSG to lower the fee, because we've just got Sander Berge there, if they don't know the Ugarte fee. And we've shown with Branthwaite, we wanted Branthwaite. He was our number one focus. We agreed terms with Branthwaite. We made 2 bids for Branthwaite. But at the end of the day, Everton weren't willing to negotiate a reasonable deal for Branthwaite. So what did we do when it came to Jared Branthwaite? We walked away. Everton were not willing to, negotiate a reasonable deal. So we walked away from the Jared Branthwaite deal. We got Euro and we got, obviously, De Ligt. I think United will say this. If you're not going to do something reasonable for Ugarte, we will walk away despite agreeing terms with him. We've got other options. And I think that will scare PSG into lowering the price as well. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up everybody watching right now. Let's dive in to some more updates. Now, I saw this, and this is a bit random. It's not really news related, but I was kind of agreeing with this here. And it was said that bring Leslie Ogochukwu and either one of Ugarte and Berge this summer and integrate Ogochukwu slowly into the team. He's the perfect profile for what we need. He's only 20 years of age. Chelsea want to sell him. Chelsea spent £23 million on him. Obviously, he's one of the many youth players they brought in and they never played, and now they want to sell. They obviously aren't going to make a profit on him, but I do think he's one of those that United could get on like a £15 million deal. I think he's a really phenomenal young DM that, to be honest, I'd get one of Ugarte and Berge, depending on the fee, and I would get Leslie Ogochukwu on top of them. Now, if Fofana's off the market, I'd get Ugarte and Leslie. That's what I'd do. Now he's off the market, but it obviously depends with what United's plan for Toby Collier is as well. But I did think this was a good point, even though it's completely unrelated to news. So let's talk about the transfer news. Let's talk about Ten Hag's press conference, because Ten Hag had dropped a few hints in his press conference. Ten Hag said this: "We know our targets. We know we know that we are in the right direction, and we have won 2 trophies. We know our game model, so now we have to integrate the new players, and if they can improve the game model and improve the team levels and take it from there." So Ten Hag's come out and said, look, at United, we know our targets. We know that we're in the right direction. We've won 2 trophies. We know our game model. So now we've got to integrate that. So Ten Hag is saying that we know who our targets are. We know how we want to play. We know that we've won 2 trophies. This is what we're going to do. Mazraoui and De Ligt, obviously targets that have come in and that can play Ten Hag's style of play. And it's probably about getting those other targets Ten Hag wants in to integrate that play. Ten Hag then said in regards to the Fulham game that both De Ligt and Mazraoui will be in the squad versus Fulham. And he said we can solve some of the problems of injuries on the left with Licha, Delot or Mazraoui if Lucha or Malacia are not available. And Ten Hag said on Mazraoui it's quite difficult to put him under pressure, and that can be it's quite difficult to put him under pressure, and that can be beneficial for the team, especially in English football, because there's always pressure on the ball carrier. One of his qualities is there. And Ten Hag saying he's really happy with Mazraoui coming in because he's basically a really good press-resistant defender that can dribble out from the press and progress play, which is something that Wan-Bissaka struggles with. Ten Hag did speak about injuries in his press conference and said Luke Shaw's injury is short-term. We're looking forward to having him back, is what he said. And he's saying the injury problems are there, but it's not about the players who are not available. As I said last season, it's about the players who are available. We have a good group. We can put together a good team. And I think actually when you look at our depth, it's a lot better. Delot and Mazraoui, depth options can fill in for Delot and Mazraoui can play at fullback because we've got 2 left back injured. They're not too bad options at fullback. You've got De Ligt, Euro, Martinez, and Maguire as centre backs. That's good options. Xerxes and Højlund as strikers. Amar, Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford as wingers. If you can get Sancho and Rashford in form, it's good options there. Mount is back up to Bruno. We've got Maino, but obviously I think where the depth is questionable is Collier good enough to be a depth option for Maino and Casemiro? Yeah, that's obviously where we need the signing, and the next signing should be in midfield. But I do think we've got good depth options as well. Euro priority was Madrid. He's now a United player. Yeah, I mean, look, with Man United, you can't doubt the Ineos pull. If we could sway Euro away from Real Madrid, I think we can sway a lot of people to come United way as well. Burge was far and away Burnley's best player last year. Yeah, if you actually watched Burnley play last season, Sander Burge was Burnley's best player by a country mile last season. Sander Burge was brilliant for Burnley. He was the Players' Player of the Year. He was Burnley Player of the Year. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Sander Burge was obviously Burnley's best player last season. And I don't think Sander Burge to United is a bad deal. It's not in my top 5. But I think for the price and how cheap it would be, I really don't think Sander Burge to United is as bad a deal as it's sort of being made out to be online, if I was going to be totally honest with you guys. Guys, please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more. I'm just checking to see if any more stories have come out before I get into a few little updates and stuff as well. Could Xerxes play tomorrow? I don't think Xerxes will start, but I think we could see Xerxes coming off the bench. I don't think he'll start, but I think we could see him coming off the bench as well. Manchester United are ranked 14th in Europe for teams, which is crazy. So apparently we have the 14th best team in Europe. Apparently Villarreal and Roma have a better team than United. They don't have a better team than us. Apparently FC Porto have a better team than us. They don't have a better team than us. United are ranked 14th for best team in Europe according to UEFA. But we are ranked above Arsenal. Arsenal are ranked 19th for the best team in Europe. But obviously this is just UEFA rankings over how well they've done in the competition. And, well, Arsenal haven't done much in the competition in recent years, which is quite crazy as well, the UEFA rankings. What about Odelay? He's just a youth player coming through that's highly rated. Maybe he gets a few opportunities here and there. But there's no news on him. He's just a highly rated youth prospect as well. But I think he's a good player, a really good player as well. Ten Hag is a big coach. Change Anthony to left back. He has the composure. He's defensive. I don't think Anthony at long term would be happy playing left back, and I don't think it works there. But I think, if worst comes to worst, to be honest, he does a better job at left back than right wing at the moment as well. Ten Hag spoke about pre-season with the players arriving late, and he said, the team is not ready, but the Premier League starts, and there are other managers in the same situation, but we have our rules and principles we can't hide. Ten Hag said on performances, how do we score more goals? We're creating a lot of chances, but it's about being calm, being more clinical. That's something we can improve on because we need too many chances to score. We saw that against Liverpool and City, and he's right. We could have beat Manchester City in the Community Shield, and it's really good positive that we're creating the chances and we were breaking City down and we're having good patterns of play, but we need to score those chances. And I think, if there's ever a negative to work on, I think missing chances is probably the best negative to work on because it means you're doing everything right. You just need to score the chances. So I think in terms of the negatives in the football world, the fact that we're missing chances isn't necessarily the end of the world. It's just one that needs to be worked on. I think it's almost like if you had to think of a negative trait in football, like a weakness, and your weakness is missing chances and you're creating a lot of chances but you're missing them, it's one of the better weaknesses to have in the world of football. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense. So it's something that we need to work on, but it's not the end of the world as well. 26 hours till kickoff. Guys, I won't be doing a watch long tomorrow for the match because I am out. I will do a match reaction, but the match reaction probably won't be out till like 1 a.m. So I unfortunately won't be able to do match reaction. I unfortunately won't be able to do a watch long tomorrow for the first match of the season, which is really annoying because it's the first match of the season. But there will be a match reaction, and then the next morning I'll do a 5 things we learned. But I'm obviously out watching the game out, so obviously it'll be easy for me to do a match reaction, but obviously can't go live while watching the game out. It's just a bit weird. So yeah, no watch long tomorrow for the game. So do apologise for that, but that is just a one-off. We will be back with the watch alongs soon. Alice, what do you think is going to happen in the transfer window? I don't know. I think for United, it's another midfielder coming in and probably someone that can play left back, left centre back. Elsewhere, I'd say Arsenal will probably get Marino. City will probably buy someone. Liverpool, I think, will definitely buy someone. Surely Liverpool buy someone. Chelsea probably buy about 10 teenagers. But Arsenal, they're going to get Marino. For United, it's midfielder, left back, cheap left back, midfielder, potentially, depending on sales, another attacker and another midfielder. But I think we get 2 to 4 signings depending on sales. I think Newcastle will get Gay over the line as well. But I do think there'll be 2 more deals at United, and I think we could get a breakthrough on Ugarte soon. And I don't think it ends with Ugarte if McTominay and Sancho are sold. I think there could be some really interesting updates coming on as well. Bramford and Wharton. A lot of people talk about Bramford and Wharton for 2025 being perfect, and I think so. Obviously, it depends on Bramford and Wharton's season. They could be crap next year. Not saying that they will be, but if Bramford and Wharton continue on the same trajectory, I think Bramford and Wharton next season could be exactly what we want to see. Guys, please do go ahead and hit that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more. Apparently, Scott McTominay has chosen to join Napoli. Obviously, if you just joined the live show, reports are coming out that McTominay has chosen to join Napoli is one of the bits of news coming out today. There's also news coming out that Roman is obviously retweeting Ugarte stories and stuff, and that Ugarte to United is expected to advance today after a big meeting with George Mendes working on the deal. Obviously, Andy Mitten, a very reliable journalist, has confirmed that United were surprisingly offered a chance to sign Adam Wharton, and Manchester United, despite being offered Adam Wharton for £18 million, declined that offer. And obviously the use of Fofana, here we go, is a bit of a blow coming in from Romano as well. De Ligt and Mazraoui both injury prone. It's a little bit frustrating because I really like De Ligt and I really like Mazraoui, but the only negative about the De Ligt and Mazraoui deal is they are injury prone as well. McTominay finding the way out. I don't know if that means McTominay will leave, but apparently McTominay has given priority to Napoli. He wants to join Napoli and is Napoli's priority. For that deal to happen, we need to find an agreement with Napoli on a fee. Fulham were willing to pay 21 million for McTominay. We want 25. We haven't heard from Fulham since. Some sources say they gave us 23. Actually, Luckhurst said we got 23. We want 25. We haven't heard from Fulham since. Napoli have made offers for McTominay. They've been rejected. We need Napoli to make a 25 million offer, which apparently they're not willing to do. So it looks like McTominay could be on the way out, and we could get some big developments on that, and that he's prioritising Napoli. Napoli's reps have obviously flown over to England to get the McTominay deal done. It's just a big question mark of, will that deal be done? I think in regards to McTominay, in regards to Napoli, there's a big question mark over, will Napoli pay the fee, and could Fulham come back in? So I think McTominay could go, and I think there could be some big advancements in the next 24 hours on McTominay and Ugarte, especially with Napoli having a big meeting with United apparently now as we're speaking in regards to the McTominay deal. It just depends because Napoli are trying to do a loan. Matthijs de Ligt has given his first interview as a Manchester United player, and I just wanted to dive into a few things that Matthijs de Ligt had said, just to, wrap up the live stream and give you some insight on that, and then I'll just give you a bit of a roundup of all the news, because there has been some really big and interesting news stories going about in regards to United news that I'm really intrigued to get into. But obviously it has been said by Matthijs de Ligt, it's an extraordinary club to join, one of the biggest clubs in the world with an extraordinary history and many extraordinary players and extraordinary defenders. He said, I'm excited, I've been waiting a long time. During the whole holidays I've been waiting for the message, the fact that it's finally here, I can't wait to get started. De Ligt said he's just been waiting so long for United and he's so glad he's finally got the move. De Ligt said, there's a big history of this club. I grew up with Ronaldo, Vidic, Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney, Paul Scholes, Van der Sar. There was so much history in this club, and De Ligt's only a year and a half older than me, and they're the players that I obviously grew up watching and made me love Man United as well. De Ligt said it's an incredible challenge to have this opportunity in one of the biggest clubs in the world, in the biggest competition in the world. I'm motivated by these new challenges. I hope I can play a part in the next story of Manchester United. And De Ligt says, to have the opportunity to come here and sign for the fantastic club on my birthday is incredible. It's a dream come true to join United. And De Ligt said the club haven't won a title for a while, but they've won the FA Cup last season, the Carabao Cup the year before. They know how to win, so hopefully they can build a team that can fight for titles. De Ligt's obviously won a title at every single club he's played for, won the Serie A with Juventus, won the Bundesliga with Bayern, and of course won the Eredivisie with Ajax. 25 years of age, won 3 league titles, captained his club as well. He's really mature for a guy that turned 25 2 days ago. And De Ligt said Ten Hag was the first guy to make me captain. He gave me a lot of confidence at a young age. It's always nice to know some guys coming into United that makes things easier. He knows Xerxes, he knows Anana, he knows, of course, Mazraoui. He said, and he's obviously knows Malacia and a couple of the Dutch players. He says, I'm happy to see them again, but I'm also looking forward to getting to know the others, said Matthijs de Ligt in regards to joining United. So I really liked de Ligt's interview. He made some really good points about his excitement to join Manchester United and more. I think De Ligt coming in with his mentalities is actually really, really exciting. At first, I was a bit skeptical when I linked to De Ligt because I generally thought it was going to be like a 60 million deal and we were going to give him 200k a week in wages and it was going to be a really obvious deal, an ex-Ten Hag player. But the fact that we were getting De Ligt for what the price of believed to be, I think, 42 million pounds, but it's actually 38 up front with 4 million in add-ons is pretty crazy as well. So yeah, massive news there. But anyway, people, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. I'm going to wrap up the show here. Thank you for watching. Bye.